Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Happy holidays. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about this Asian man who actually came out to tell black people that they do not deserve better. They are not supposed to earn more at that. They are supposed to be okay with what they earn. And he was talking about Taraji P. because she actually came out to talk about her salary, how hard she works as a black woman, the effort she put in as a black woman. And in the end, she does not get, like her salary is nothing to write home about. And she talks about how her white counterpart earn better, even when she puts so much effort. And this young man thinks that she is complaining and shouldn't be complaining and should be okay with whatever she earns. And he went further to say that I know I am not a black person and I probably do not have a lot to say. He knew that he has nothing to say about this, but still went ahead to give his analysis to tell us how much black people are supposed to make in a year, in a month, and then try to gaslight black people, telling them that you all know that there is inflation. So before there is inflation, people are not supposed to speak up. You see the problem with all these Caucasians. When black people talk about what is going on in their community, and then they try to tell you that you aren't making sense. Let's get into this video.
So Taraji P. Henson, an African-American actress, is making waves right now because she is talking about the pay disparity between black actresses and white actresses. And her issue is, although she's making millions, she wants more.
I'm just tired of working so hard. I hear people go, "You work a lot." Yeah. I'll have to.
Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary.
And almost had to walk away from Color Purple.
And not only is she not having it, but she is deciding to come to the public to display or expose the pay disparity within Hollywood. Now, here's my thing. I do like Taraji P. Henson. I've seen her work. I've watched her work. She's a great actress. No issues with her whatsoever. But something feels kind of tone deaf about this message, especially living in the times that we are living in within this country, where inflation is crazy high, people are struggling with groceries or gas or trying to get both. And the reason why I say this is because the average American, if they have their full degree, will make up to $50,000 to $74,000 a year. Most Americans don't have their full college degree, so most make around $30,000 to maybe $50,000 if they're lucky. Now, some of you may say, well, Chuck, you're not black. She's talking to black Americans. It's not your fight. It's not your struggle. She ain't directing this at you. Mind your business. Okay. The average African-American home makes around $46,000 a year. $46,000. So again, my point is that it is tone deaf of this very wealthy woman making six figures a year complaining, even if it's just to black people in this country, complaining that she's not making the millions that she wants. She's only making a fraction of those millions. And she's saying this to people who make maybe 10% of what she makes. And she makes that in a month. Are you seeing the issue here? Are you seeing why it's kind of tone deaf? I'm not saying that her argument is not strong. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be fighting for more pay. I'm not saying that there isn't a pay disparity between black and white actresses. I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm saying is take that fight to Hollywood. Take that fight to your lawyers. Take that fight with your other celebrity friends who are also making millions of dollars. Why don't you guys come together and do something about it? But coming to average Americans to complain on stage that you're not making $5 million, you're making $2 million, even though what you make a year is what most Americans can only dream of making within 5 years, that math is not mathing. The fact that you're expecting people to make a GoFundMe for you? I'm sorry. But I think most Americans, black or white, are more focused on putting food on their table, working overtime to try and pay the bills. The last thing on their mind is crying over a rich, wealthy celebrity who makes six figures. I mean, I'm just saying. You may not like what I'm saying, but you know it's true. Issues with her whatsoever. But something feels kind of tone deaf.
No, she should not just shut up and accept her pay. Let's not forget the fact that Taraji P. Henderson has been in this industry for years, and the amount of money that she gets paid should not be a factor that you should spread a message that she should shut up and accept her pay because she makes more than the average American. No, because she makes more than the average American, so does the white actors and actresses that get paid more than her. And some of them may not be as qualified as she is to play those roles. And it's not right that she gets paid as much as she does, and she's been in the industry for a long time. And a lot of you people need to realize that celebrities were once average people. Not all celebrities were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So one day, a young lady could be looking at her videos and could say, hey, I want to be an actress. I want to work in Hollywood. And so for her to do that, to advocate for the actresses that are working in Hollywood is a good thing, because one day that young lady who is watching her video may want to be an actress, so they may not face the same things that they're facing today in Hollywood. So we need to dismiss the fact that, because she makes more, that she should just shut up and accept her pay. No. She's fighting for her worth. There's nothing wrong with that. She's venting and she's coming out of how Hollywood is treating black actresses. There's nothing wrong with that. And since when did you become the dictator or where she can spill her message out to? I want to know. And then not only that, your whole video was dismissive because she makes so much more. Let me tell you something. They have to pay Uncle Sam a huge portion of their money, just like everybody else, when they get paid, have to pay Uncle Sam money. That's right, they pay taxes as well. Not only do they pay taxes, but they pay agents, they pay managers, they pay a whole Hollywood team to get them ready for premieres and stuff. So they do get paid money indeed, but a lot of that money goes out the door. And despite that, they also have to pay house bills, they have to pay light bills, they have to pay a lot of bills as well, just like the average American has to pay a lot of bills. Groceries, and they have to pay that too. So the money that they make, they have to pay that and more on top of the average American. So you using that in your video that, inflation is high. Yeah, that's why she's advocating for more pay. Because inflation is high. Just like how you have to eat, I have to eat, and she has to eat as well. She has kids she got to feed too, sir. Before you start making these videos judging her because she is a celebrity, why don't you look into things before you start talking? Just because she's a celebrity doesn't mean that she should just be quiet and just accept what she gets because she makes more than the average person. Because it's not right that she gets paid $2 million while this actor gets paid $10 million. Was she saying that Hollywood is unfair and unjust when they pay black actors and actresses? So like I said, there's nothing wrong with what she's saying. Even in America, we get paid less than white people. Nothing wrong with what she's saying. She's advocating for her worth. There's nothing wrong with it. Because one day, a woman of color, a black young lady, to be exact, may look at her video and say, I want to be a Hollywood actress. And for her to sit there and speak it, she's fighting for her and future black actresses to come. Because they need to get paid more for the work they do. They work their ass off, and they should get paid for the work that they do. That's what she's saying. So I don't know why you sitting up there trying to dismiss her message, but this was not a good take at all.
Although she's making millions, she wants more.
I'm just tired of working.
Curly Boy Chuck, thank you so much for speaking on the issues of black women. Leave it to some random white dude to tell black women when they should have their Phyllis Wheatley moment and what they should shut the fuck up and just accept. Because, as always, the whole point was missed. And at this point, we cannot call it willful ignorance. It's just willful resentment. So let me break it down for you. First off, let's start with her name spelling. It's Tariji. If you're going to speak about black women, at least get their name right. And she's speaking about her industry. She's an actress, an accomplished actress, an Oscar-nominated actress who is asking for equitable pay compared to the Streeps and the Roberts. And how dare you assume that black people will not have empathy for a black woman when speaking about her industry and the pay disparity? Because with black women being the most degreed demographic in this country, we are all speaking out about our respective industries. Take, for instance, I'm a nurse practitioner, but I know that PAs who traditionally were males get paid more than I do in my facility. Should I not speak out about it because I still make more than the median that you brought up, the 46,000? Or should I talk about the pay disparity for equitable work? We want equitable pay. So thank you for diving into black people's business and assuming, unlike you guys, we don't have empathy, because we do. And I know that may be hard for you to figure out. We have empathy because we've all been where Taraji is. And that, again, that's Tariji. So the willful resentment that comes from mediocre white people, that exudes resentment for what black women have carved out in spite of the trope of being welfare queens and baby mamas and always having drama, that resentment translates into your entire post because it's disingenuous. Because right off the TOP, Taraji said that she has to pay her lawyer, her manager, her stylist. So we know in our community, because we operate as a community and not individuals, if we don't eat, our team doesn't eat. And so it's not that she wants more. She wants equitable pay. Play the whole clip. And I hope in your resentment, as you're sitting in the trailer park with your Schlitz on the table and your Zanny Fanny Annie sitting next to you looking for that next opiate high, that you take a listen. But not only that, stay in your motherfucking lane and have the day that you deserve, curly boy Chuck. Princess Checkerhole checking out.
Taraji P. Henson, an African-American actress, is making waves right now because she is talking about the pay disparity between black actresses and white actresses. And her issue is, although she's making millions, she wants more.
Curly boy Chuck, is this you? You're about to try to silence a black woman talking about her issue, aren't you? Yeah, you're about to put your foot in your mouth. And then I'm going to help you unlodge that foot and put it somewhere else. But first things first. Who is this Teraji person you speak of? Because if you're going to talk about Taraji P. Henson, at least spell her name correctly. There should have been a red flag right there that you're about to go left. But I'm here to help you get back to center. Let's get it.
But she is deciding to come to the public to display or expose the pay disparity within Hollywood. Now, here's my thing. I do like Taraji P. Henson. I've seen her work. I've watched her work. She's a great actress. No issues with her whatsoever. But something feels kind of tone deaf about this message, especially living in the times that we are living in within this country.
There's always a but, isn't there? Always a but to take away the pseudo compliments you give a person prior to it when you start to delve into how you actually feel about them. See, you believe that she should just shut up and act because the state of the country, it's hard times for certain people. But it's always been hard times for black women. And it never fails. Someone like you will always tell someone that looks like us when it is appropriate to speak out or stand up for ourselves. But you had more to say. Continue.
Inflation is crazy high. People are struggling with groceries or gas or trying to get both. And the reason why I say this is because the average American, if they have their full degree, will make up to $50,000 to $74,000 a year. Most Americans don't have their full college degree, so most make around $30,000 to maybe $50,000 if they're lucky.
I think you all have the same brief for a family tree, and you all are all missing listening comprehension skills and probably reading comprehension skills also. But I digress. Because none of that gaslighting you just engaged in had anything to do with the disparity that Taraji P. Henson was talking about in her field between her and white actresses of the same background. And it never fails. There's always some non-white person telling black people, especially black women, when they should speak and why they should be quiet. Now, you had this point in your video where you should have listened to yourself and shut the hell up.
Now, some of you may say, well, Chuck, you're not black. She's talking to black Americans. It's not your fight. It's not your struggle. She ain't directing this at you. Mind your business. Okay. The average African-American home makes around $46,000 a year. $46,000. So again, my point is that it is tone deaf of this very wealthy woman making six figures a year, complaining, even if it's just to black people in this country, complaining that she's not making the millions that she wants. She's only making a fraction of those millions. And she's saying there's two people who make maybe 10% of what she makes. And she makes that in a month. Are you seeing the issue here? Are you seeing why it's kind of tone deaf? I'm not saying that her argument is not strong. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be fighting for more pay. I'm not saying that there isn't a pay disparity between black and white actresses.
Now, I hate it when you pseudo-intellectual types hop on Beyonce's internet and try to throw some facts and figures up to address something a black person said when you don't even know what you're talking about. That clearly says the median household income, not the average household income. So that means you don't know the difference between median household income and average household income. But I digress. And in the words of my friend King Lion, but you knew that, right? And I understand you adjacent alabaster biscuit troglodyte individuals are always championing and campaigning for the award of white supremacy glizzy swallower of the year. That's why you found yourself seeing a black woman talking about her situation and decided to basically tell her to shut up and act. See, black women don't care about the status or the economic status of this country at any given time because they have always been at the bottom of it. So whenever they have a platform and they speak out, they're not just speaking out for themselves, they're speaking out for all black women. Now, understand this. We didn't call you. Don't come unless you're called. Now, this time, you'll get away with a dismissal. Next time, I'm just going to cuss you out. Have the day you deserve.
But something feels kind of tone deaf about this message.
The absolute audacity of non-black men never surprises me, because you can go talk about how you're not getting paid enough because the government takes 50% of whatever you make. You use 40% of whatever you have left to pay your team, which you need in order to get more roles, and 10% you keep, but you have kids to take care of and you have a house to take care of, and you're just trying to make it. So you have to have another business that's not as pronoun as, well, other businesses that you're competing with. But let a non-black man who can click and snap on the internet and act like they're one of us talk about how we don't deserve what we're worth. And they get to dictate how much you, an artist, gets to get paid. Then they want to bring up inflation and annual household incomes, but then never want to bring up how if everything's costing more, why aren't we getting paid more? But I digress.
So Taraji P. Henson, an African-American actress, is making waves, and her issue is, although she's making millions, she wants more.
I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary.
The fact that you're expecting people to make a GoFundMe for you? Something feels kind of tone deaf about this message.
Was she tone deaf, or were you just deaf to the tone? because you stated something that you knew you already know, which is that you was in black book business. You stated so. And what y'all need to realize, when you're not black in black book business, there will always be some sort of a language barrier, translation issue, okay? Because I did not hear her asking us for money. What I heard from her in the message she was trying to relay is that we as black women, in any position that we may stand in and play economically, we have the right and should demand equitable pay for our labor. And I heard her also list a list of expenses that she has to pay for to put her in that position. Expenses that she has to pay for her to be in the position that she is in, to do the labor that she does. The same way, by the way, should you have to go and pay expense for a degree that would put you in a higher position, you should equitably be paid to pay back that fucking loan for that degree. You understand? I did not hear her complain or ask me for fucking money. What I heard was her speaking to other black women to demand their labor value. That's what her message was to us, okay? And that's what I fucking heard. It was not her asking us for fucking money. It was her speaking to us directly to tell us that we have every right, if she can stand in the position she's in and understand that she's not equitably being paid, and she can make that demand, so the fuck can we, in any position that we may stand. I just want to clear up that translation issue for you, because sometimes y'all be hearing stuff, by the way, because you're not used to black people making a stand to say anything, to demand anything in any position that they may play. You're not used to black women saying that shit. So when you hear that shit, it sounds like somebody complaining. I did hear her demand was equitable pay, and in the strength that she relayed that message, I heard it loud and clear that I too, as a black woman, in whatever position I'm in, I should demand equitable pay, because I'm worth it. That's what I heard in her message. That's the translation that maybe some of y'all was missing when she got on that stage to explain unequitable pay for labor. I'm not going to mention her houses and shit like that, because that's not my fucking business. But what is my business is to listen to another black woman in any position that she's in have the gall and the balls to demand what she's worth. And that's what I got from her, is that I also, as a black woman, have the space to do the fucking same. Okay? All right. Happy to translate. Have a nice day.
The past 24 or so hours, the internet has been reacting to Taraji P. Henson's interview with SiriusXM during the Color Purple press run, and her admitting that she's considering quitting acting because of the unequal treatment and unfair pay that she still has to deal with. Almost 30 years into this industry, she has been award nominated. She's been award nominated in award-winning films and shows, and she still has to fight to get paid her worth. She even admitted during a Q&A with the SAG-AFTRA Foundation that she almost turned down The Color Purple because they didn't want to pay her worth. And mind you, this is a film produced by Oprah, a not only billionaire, but a black billionaire who's been in this industry for years. So for her to not only have to fight with studios, but to fight with studios putting out projects that have our people in these positions, and they're not advocating for her when it comes to equal pay, that's effed up, and we need to have that discussion too. But it's weird, like the small minority who's just like, oh, well, we're gonna find out she was difficult to work with, and that's why. Oh, well, basically that's how you pick it. You gotta pick and choose your battles. I don't understand people like, especially since he's not the only one that's been saying this for years. Steve Canals, one of the producers on Pose, said that literally this is what he's going through. He had a whole show, and he does not own his home and doesn't drive a luxury car. Robin Thede made a whole ass thread talking about the breakdown that Taraji explained years ago, and even still now in different interviews, and how literally the take home is so small after it being taken out for taxes, and then paying your team, and then paying basic necessities for living. And it goes on and on and on. These studios and these films have the most impeccable black talent, but they don't want to pay them their worth. It's always, oh, just get exposure. Like, oh, this is a great opportunity. You can get something later. No, pay us our worth.
Oprah, I feel like you did something to Taraji, and I feel like you need to go ahead and say what you did and apologize. Yeah, because Taraji has come on this internet and said what she said, and she ain't verbally say Oprah did it, but whatever happened behind the scenes that wasn't looking right for Taraji, Oprah had something to do with it, and I don't care what nobody got to say. I don't care, because Taraji said she had to fight for her earnings as it pertains to getting paid, and for her to say, why are we even remaking The Color Purple? With a little side eye, something tell me that something ain't right, and the something that ain't right is telling me it's Oprah. But Taraji, Oprah had something to do with it, and I don't care what nobody got to say. I don't care.
I agree. Oprah will always be a coon to me. Oprah acted in Color Purple. She never watched it. Because if she watched it, she would understand why she should be doing the opposite of what she's doing now. You're a black billionaire looking at the faces of all these up and coming black actors and actresses, some also OG. They're still not getting paid what they deserve, and you're okay with it as long as you're not the one struggling. That's sick. This is her second time around with this film, and she should know the struggles that they went through, like Danny Glover and Whoopi Goldberg, to be in the film. You should have definitely made sure they got paid. And if Taraji didn't get paid what she deserved, I can only imagine what they paid people like Danielle Brooks and Fantasia. But I promise you, when this film grosses millions, the same people that made this happen, the actors and actresses, will not see a cent of it.
As this whole Taraji P. Henson conversation is spreading, I am seeing a lot more actresses like saying like, hey, this is the truth. It's been the truth for a long time. I've seen Keke Palmer post about this as well. This is Octavia Spencer's post in her caption. I'm sad to see Taraji P. Henson visibly upset. As much as I hate it, this is what it comes down to, and I support her vocalizing our plight. I've had numerous conversations with fellow actresses during rigorous negotiations, which I've talked about before on here. I saw an interview with her and Jessica Chastain and how they got Octavia a better salary. Sometimes we lose sight of who we are and need help adjusting our crown as we fight for parity and pay. I am fortunate to have a fierce team behind me, but I have to shout out some who have advocated for me. Sean Anders, Nina Yang, Bon Jovi, Jason Blum, Maverick Carter, Jessica Chastain, Peter Chernin, Viola Davis, David Ellison, Ben Falcon, Donna Gigliotti, Donna Goldberg, Taraji P. Henson, LeBron James, Melissa McCarthy, Lauren Newstandard, Jada Pinkett Smith, Stacey Snider, Nichelle Trimble Spellman, Steven Spielberg, Matt Funnell, Gino Topping, Gabrielle Union, Forrest Whitaker, and Reese Witherspoon. We have to use our voices to help each other and advocate for change across all industries to be the change we want to see. Bravo, Taraji. And notice how she named all these people. I guarantee you guys she remembered every single one of them, because that lending hand, that somebody speaking out for you, is something you will never forget, especially in terms of, getting a fair pay and having somebody stick their neck out for you. And this is bringing everyone back to Monique's situation. When this happened, this was years ago. I wasn't really on social media, but the whole situation with Monique handled everything she said with grace and kindness, and she treated her community like brothers and sisters. She respected everybody, and whilst doing that, she portrayed the truth. She spoke the truth and nothing but the truth. She wasn't nasty. She wasn't, angry. She carried herself well, and still no one, where was the support from her community? Where was the support from everyone? Because Amy Schumer over here got a deal for a Netflix deal, and her movie only made $45 million in a $42 million budget, while hers made $45 million with a $17 million budget. So why is their deal so disgusting? I think she was offered they offered Monique $500,000. They didn't even touch a mil. Amy Schumer got offered $11 million. Comedy is subjective. That lady has never made me laugh. I'm so sorry, she hasn't. And recent events, she's made me scared. She's made me angry. She's made me livid with her posts pertaining to Palestine and Gaza. That girl is wicked. But we'll probably still be able to work and do whatever she wants. But our black sisters, they gotta be the perfect beings. They gotta be the perfect victims. They have to be the perfect everything. They can't be mediocre. They have to be exceptional to even get that $150,000 check, to get that $500,000 Netflix deal, when they deserve way more. And that's not subjective. That just is what it is. When you have this criteria, when you have this resume, you are supposed to be at this level and being paid this much. But they're not being paid that much because they are black women. They don't see them as valuable. They don't see them as profitable, even when the numbers say otherwise.
Y'all want to sit up here and judge Taraji P. Henson? Y'all want to sit up here and try to compare your 9-to-5 life to what she's doing? But that cry on that interview meant so much more. It had a way more meaning and more purpose to it. She was crying because It's hard being a black woman. Let's just keep it real. It's hard in her industry to be a black woman. And that was a cry out of frustration. Okay? And it's hard. I really, admire black women who are in the positions like that and who are in very profound positions. But it is hard. It's hard to maintain that, and even with me and who I am as a person, it's hard. So, hard is hard, so, we just have to motivate, we have to encourage her, and we have to keep bringing awareness towards these type of occurrences, because change isn't going to happen unless we bring awareness and, they see some type of need to revise the way the system is, because that's all she was crying for, is because, it's hard being a black woman. Yeah.
I was on Twitter the other day, and no shade or hate to this person, but I saw someone tweet, like, can we be honest about Taraji P. Henson's range? And one, like, no hate to that person, but that's such a belittling thing to say, because she herself has talked about the fact that when she was starting out, she wasn't offered roles that were that different. It was mostly like baby mama archetype roles, and she talked about how watching white people surpass her that haven't been working as long as her was really difficult, because they were able to take on roles that she was not. And it gives the same feeling as that conversation of, like, why don't black people make their own art and movies and TV? And it's because they do, it just gets canceled, or it doesn't get as much acclaim and attention as other people's art because it's predominantly black. And that being said, also, like, she does have incredible range, because what she's been able to do, the characters that she's been able to make in each role have been the best that she could do, and almost all of her roles have been, like, given some level of acclaim. So I don't think it's fair to talk about her range when she's talked about there being a clear reason why she can't have more, why she isn't given more range, and it's beyond her control.
So this is all I got from the stitches, and it really sucks, how black women or black people in general work so hard but do not make the same money as their counterpart. And you all saw this Caucasian man actually came out to, give his own analysis, and then wanted to also break down how much black people make in a year. This really shows how dumb some of them are, and how they really want to prove a point to black people. They want to also let you all know that you do not deserve more. Whatever you are getting is okay. This is just what he wants to talk about, and say that it's brought about tone deaf and all that into it. What is wrong in people telling you that I make money, but I don't make enough? Because she knew that in that industry she is, that there are people she is way, way, way better off, that earn more than she does. And then she is out here telling people her experience, what she is going through. And all you can do is come out and look for a way to gaslight yourself, not even her and black people. It is amazing how people jump into black. I really do not see black people jumping into people's businesses like people jump into black people's businesses. Someone is talking about her career. You all know black women are the most educated. They really do work so hard. Not just only in movie industries or Hollywood. You all can see all this playing out in your own organizations and all that. You see where you are working. You see someone you are even training. Some people, some of the managers there were trained by someone that works in that same organization. You all can also testify to this. You train somebody to become a manager and they earn better than you that train them. Who does that? And somebody really have the nerves to come out to analyze the whole thing for us and trying to tell us that you are not supposed to complain. You can see that the inflation, you want to put this on inflation. And yeah, let me tell you something. The inflation, there is inflation. It is also affecting them and every other person. So coming out to tell her that her complaint is not valid or that she is not supposed to complain at all. I mean, it is just crazy how they come out and they just want to dive in black people's business without even knowing anything. Like, who made you a judge or who made you a speaker? And next time, like every other person said, make sure you get the name right, because you can't be calling on somebody or trying to talk about somebody without even knowing the person's name or writing the person's name correctly. So next time you come in, you come correct. That's how to read. And not just coming to disgrace yourself, because you really did disgrace yourself. I mean, this is all I got to do. But I think it is, this is all I got to say, It is time people start minding their businesses and leave black people alone. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.